eye around the corner. First time he's been able to really sting the hands of Declan Rice's goalkeeper. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you there, Mike. Chance coming in once again. He's got to defend this one. Trent loving that byline. There's the cutback. This time it's Eusebio. Cuts back inside. It's 3-0. He's just turned into an absolute mountain to climb now for Declan Rice.
Wow. He can't get near him. Can't get close enough. He can't get on the ball long enough, Declan, to kind of like pull him out and pull Trent around the place a bit. He's got to stop this bleeding, man. Make some changes.
Just seems down the byline, Mike Nobel. He's getting a lot of success, isn't he? Sort of like finding the cutback. It's been Zidane, it's been Eusebio. There always seems to be a player that's sort of making that looming run on the edge of the box.
Well, at the end of the day, FIFA's a simple game. You have to have a master of the intangibles, the passing, the build-up play, finding the key areas on the pitch, the spacing. And a lot of us like to overcomplicate it with all the skill moves, but if you don't do the basics right, you're not going to score goals. You're not going to win games.
Just like that.
Oh,
the exact same finish.
Oh, gosh.
Declan Rice can't watch it. He's covering his eyes.
Oh, no, Dex. Oh, no. You know, the thing is that I've seen it in that build-up. You can see the space over on Trent's left-hand side. If Declan can get hold of the ball long enough, he may be able to like penetrate that side because there's a lot of space. It's very narrow at the back. But he doesn't seem to be able to get on the ball long enough to actually hurt Trent.
And the big thing is, at the end of the day, Mike, there's a 3 at the back. There's an overload. Every single time there is an overload on the left or the right compared to Declan's 4 at the back. He's having to deal with 2 players every single time, whether it's the full back or whether it's the left back. It's just as simple as that.
Well, it's like what Ian was saying. You need to make adjustments. We've seen 4 goals nearly identical. Run down the end line, fake shot, open up some lanes of space, pull it back, square it. In FIFA, we'd like to call it a sweaty goal, but it's an automatic finish at the end of the day.
I mean, if he goes 4-0, 5-0 down before half-time, this is really going to get out of hand on the finesse. Great
save
from Lev Yashin just to keep him in that game. But if you're 5-0 down at half-time, Ian, I mean, what were you doing? What are you changing?
Well, to be honest, at the end of the day, it's not a case of change. He needs to do something because he needs to get hold of the ball. He needs to start penetrating that. Even if you look at it now, there's so much space there. He needs to get some pace, people going beyond and starting to attack Trent. I don't think Trent's had to do any defending in this game yet.
And to be honest, I just feel like there's an extra 10% on this game, just because obviously both these 2 young English talent that have come through the ranks, of course, represented both their club and country at such a good level and had so much success over the last couple of seasons. I just feel like Trent's got a little bit in him that he really wants to try and embarrass Declan out here, or at least try and put as many goals past him as possible. We're talking 4-0 at half-time, gentlemen. I know there's a long time left in the game, but 4-0 at half-time, Mike, that's one hell of a scoreline.
Can I just say... Go on, Mike. Go on, Michael.
I think Declan made a mistake where he kind of took a shot saying last time they played, it went in his favor. And surely Trent has not forgotten that. And then you just added a little bit of that salt to the wound. And he is not letting up. He's showing no mercy. 4-0. And I think this could get even uglier.
Yeah. I tend to agree. But Declan needs to find some pride. You know what I mean? He needs to go back to that Tottenham-West Ham game, man. He needs to find that energy.
I mean, one thing we look at on that semi-final, we had a lot of success with Garrincha on the edge of the box. Obviously, the Brazilian icon was able to sort of wrap his leg around a couple of finesse shots. I think he scored 2 or 3 of them. I remember Richard Buckley getting very excited on the goals as we were just watching in the background. He just hasn't been able to do that this time round. You normally edge of the box, there's a finesse there that has been open. We need to see, he needs to get his goalie off corners first and foremost. Declan, get your goalie off the corners. If you're asking to concede 5 or 6, that is not the way to do it. And again, it's just like that. It's in 2 passes. What's that back post? There's a ball waiting to be played. He's just got his passes confused. It's not great from the fullback either.
It's this area here now. This is where he needs to. He needs more. Look, there's not enough support around him. Right. See, Trent, man, and it's really weird because even at the half time, it's the first time I see him smiling. So he's obviously very comfortable.
To be fair, one thing we haven't seen yet, Mike, is more of a sort of tactical change formation-wise, whether that's in-game custom tactics, get that depth higher, maybe constant pressure on heavy touch, just small little interchanges. I know they don't naturally always come to someone that doesn't play a lot of FIFA, but just if you can, get pro. that's with you, just to give you a little nudge and say, come on, change this, get your players a little bit higher up the pitch.
Yeah.
Because time's running out.
Yeah, I was wondering if we're going to get a Gravison halftime talk here. Maybe he's dropping some text messages, let's make adjustments. Well, I was expecting to see some team press just to disrupt the pace, because all of this is in a flow or a free flow that very much so favors Trent, and that's why he's been able to score the goals, make consistent chances.
Chance. Could be a goal back for him. Fantastic block at the back. I think
Dude,
that was Paolo Maldini that time.
That's the one. That's the place. That's the place to hit them. That's the place to hit Trent. The main thing now is to make sure that he doesn't let the game totally run away from him, so he can give Gravison a chance to get back in it. Gravison's going to have to be clinical now.
And let's not forget who Gravison is playing against, gentlemen, in the grand final. He's playing against Tex, one of the most successful players in the last couple of years, achieved so much, won so much, and if there's anything to go by on his last performance, this man ran the box is so deadly. Could be 5, it will be 5, and to be honest, I don't see 5 goals coming in the second leg from Gravison, in all honesty.
Wow.
Yeah, Declan's not living this down. You said this was going to carry over to the locker room.
Yeah.
I feel as if Trent's going to supply him with a controller as a gift every morning when they go to training.
It's just
a friendly reminder. Just a friendly reminder.
What's really frightening right now is to look at how Trent is still got the 1,000-yard steer on. He's not even. You'd think it's still 0-0. This is what my grandson does to me.
I mean, if you were in this duo and you're in this situation, let's pretend that a ball has not even been kicked. Would you rather be playing first in the first leg or playing in the second leg?
Me personally. What you mean? You're asking me?
Yes. Yeah. If you were playing,
I'd probably want to have played the first leg, and if that's the case, I'd be a little bit more defensive to leave it for Gravison to do his stuff. But maybe, I don't know, Declan might have thought that he could take Trent on and head to head, but like we're looking at it now and we're seeing that that's not the case. So he needs to, like I say, he needs to give Gravison a chance to get back in it by not conceding anymore, or at least getting a couple.
It's a strange double-edged sword with that question in some regard, because I would love to play second if the game was drawn even, or if I was the only down a goal maybe in the partnership. But in this type of circumstance where you know you have to shift extremely aggressive in order to give myself a chance to score goals at a high enough rate to put us back into the game. So he's not able to go with his normal game plan. And if you saw the first game where Gravison went up against Levy, it was more defensive and controlled than we've seen in some of these previous FIFA games.
There's a cutback and there's a chance.
Yes.
I mean, even a goal like that helps massively into that second leg.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, if he can get one more as well, 3 goals is something that we see turned around all the time, even at the competitive level.
I mean, especially on FIFA 21 as well, Mike. I can tell you we're going to see a lot of them this year, those 3-game, sort of the 3-goal cushions that are just evenly turned over. But you saw it a couple of times there. There's clearly been some sort of tactical change. The press on heavy touch, there's a constant pressure that is seeming to be implied. There was a couple of chances. Neymar had a half chance. Keeper came off his line. Bullet also had a chance. And then eventually, Lothar Matthäus, of all people, getting a goal. And if your strikers, aren't getting on the score sheet, someone's got to get on there. This could be an unbelievable chance to pull the game back. What I was about to say before I probably cursed is, it's rarely you see a clean sheet, Mike, on FIFA 21.
I mean, I kept stats from the last 30 games I've played. I'm averaging conceding like 1.4, 1.5 goals per game, and that's with a majority of wins, in the last weekend league. So I would agree completely. It's just so much risk and reward in this game, and going for it and starting your offensive attacks, you kind of have to. But when you do that, of course, you can get caught out.
Great defensive header there from
Maldini.
If you have just joined us, this is the FIFA 21 challenge. We're in the grand finals. This is our first leg. Currently 5-1. Trent Alexander-Arnold does lead. There is a second leg. It's an aggregate scoreline that will go over for Fanatics Tex against Ducks Gaming Gravison. Gravison obviously would have to pull a scoreline, which is no easy feat against the player. Tex's quality. Could be worse, though. Could be another goal to concede, and maybe one chance here. Doesn't come to anything. Added time to follow in just a second. Just get one more chance if he can get the ball on it. That's not going to help him there. Declan Rice, long ball over the top. He's going to gamble on R9 to still do something. But 4-goal cushion, gentlemen, that's massive going into a second leg.
No doubt. And if there's one positive to take from this from Gravison, Tex did look a little shaky defensively in his opening matchup against Mo Albert. So there are goals to be had in that matchup, but I don't know about 4 of them.
I mean, you don't know where to look and you don't know where to laugh, really, in these situations, Ian, do you?
Well, you know what's really good about it is that, you know, at the end of the day, football, you know what I mean? Football's a winner, but I'm sure that Declan must have thought that he would have had a